Hello everyone, thank you for coming to this video today. My name is Rafaella Siagkri and I'm a lecturer in interior architecture at the University of Brighton. Also a PhD researcher in Kent School of Architecture in collaboration with Digital Arts at the University of Kent. Today I will speak to you about understanding through virtual reality the cinematic expressionist architecture, and this is an interdisciplinary research project that explores the symbiotic relationship between architecture and cinema through the application of virtual reality. Is going to be focusing on Expressionism. Expressionist movement in architecture has a limited presence as physical structures. Usually we're referring to Expressionism in architecture as a paper movement, and here you can see some rare examples of that in the real world. Mainly because expressionist architects, due to the sociopolitical and economical reasons, ended up creating their ideas within other media, such as painting and writing, and in order to recreate in 3D, they moved to film and theatre sets. As the existence of expressionist 3D elements discuss, this research argues that expressionist stage sets are important for restoration purposes in an effort to preserve cultural heritage from a filmmaking perspective and an architectural standpoint. This paper outlines that we create damaged film sets that no longer exist physically using virtual reality, focusing on the Cabinet of Dr Caligari. And this case study involves digital reconstruction of some of the most important and significant expressionist stages in the history of architecture and cinematography. In order to achieve that, as a general aim of the study is to produce the VR simulation of Dr. Caligari as faithful as possible to the original film set and evaluate to what extent virtual reality contributes to the understanding of its abstract spatial environment. In order to do that, we need to follow some specific objectives, starting with using the available archival material in order to obtain necessary information for the virtual reconstruction purposes, such as plans, elevation, sections of the film sets. Then we propose a methodology for the 3D digital reconstruction of the film sets and studio to elaborate the hypothesis. Then, in order to add photorealism, we need to digitalize the paintings and the cloning of the patterns to be used as a texture for the 3D modeling, following with creation of detailed images, realistic visuals, and documents to study the 3D model. Lastly, we need to create the VR simulation. This allows the author and potentially the users to explore by walking into the studios, including 5 of the film sets. After finishing these objectives, the hypothesis suggests that virtual reality could be used as a tool for the digital recovery of obscure architecture, offering a better understanding of the expressionist film sets of Dr. Caligari. The virtual reconstruction of the film set is based on detailed data compiled from historical materials found in the archives. The overall collection of archival materials is sourced from the Deutsche Cinemathek Museum and La Cinémathèque Française. And here you can see the most important archive, which is the graphic archive that it comes from the Deutsche Cinemathek Museum. And in order to analyze the data, we needed to go to scene-by-scene and drawing analysis, which is a methodology that examines each drawing against how they relate to the film set by inspecting each shot in the film and grouping these drawings into scenes. This systematic evaluation follows the film's narrative by relating each drawing to space of mise-en-scène. And this process shows the architects of Hermann Worm's drawings that reveal the way that the film sets they were created in each scene in the studio. This source also will provide the necessary information that they required in order to create the process of the building the virtual reality reconstruction. Having established the veracity of the drawings collection, we move to the individual source analysis, which takes a qualitative approach describing, evaluating, classifying and commenting critically on each drawing of the archival collection by going and checking the drawings if there were repetitions, but also important elements in the drawings that they're going to be useful for the virtual reality reconstruction, like plan floors, paintings, the elevations, the front elevation, the side section, but also we can see the camera position, the title of the film sets, but also the scale and the architecture signature. We understand that by following the symbol X, what backdrops had to be cut or as a whole piece, or they had to be separate in distinct sections. And by following the plans, we can see how we can place them, position them in the right direction. But also we have measurements that they are important in order to classify what drawings they were important and what not. Here we can see also in the studio how the film sets they were placed, and there are different 5 film sets at the same time in the studio that they were placed. The building of the VR reconstruction requires film sets to be described by a complete set of drawings, such as film sets were selected after a thorough examination of the drawings, individual source analysis. And then we are moving to the digitalization of data and the visual reconstruction, where we're converting the important drawings into cards, and then from then we're using these ones in order to create the 3D modeling. Then we need to digitalize the patterns and the textures and create other textures that are going to be important for the photorealistic look of the virtual reality simulation. Then we create the visualization, and then we adapt the lighting in order to match the film set's lighting. And this is a digital reconstruction of the entire studio, including the 5 of the film sets that we saw before. And with using Unreal Engine, we create the virtual reality simulation and we adapt the lighting then. In order to analyze the VR simulation, we follow a phenomenological analysis. Phenomenology is the study of structure of consciousness as experienced from the first-person point of view, and the practice of phenomenology refers to an internal search to realize the meaning of experience. And then we describe basically that the experience of like what you are experiencing and how you are experiencing it, instead of having a natural attitude while we describe it. We use a reflective methodological analysis. It's a description of an experience instead of a description of things as they appear boring in front of us. But phenomenology goes beyond this and also explores the role of technology and culture as part of shaping our experiences. The phenomenology of embodiment is connected with the body and its ability to move and experience space. This project enables a kinesthetic consciousness by adding the ability to move between the film sets, irrespective of our actual body position. Having analyzed the literature and the archival materials, but also through the practice of creating the film sets in VR, an analysis of the simulation from a first-person perspective helps to understand the benefits that this technology can offer or cannot to evaluate and better understand of this architecture. After analyzing and exploring the virtual environment, I gained full awareness of the backdrops used for the entire film studio. The study gives an insight of the reconstruction process, using archival drawings but also comprehend the film's expressionist space from 2D moving images that starts to change due to the experience in the virtual reality. Firstly, I comprehend better the dimensions of the film set. Solely by watching and observing the film, the dimensions of the film sets are a bit obscure. I can estimate approximately the height and the width of some of the backdrops, but the length and depth of the whole set itself is impossible to understand. However, through the virtual reality, this element can be easily defined during my virtual exploration in a one-to-one scale of the studio. During my investigation inside the virtual reconstructed studio and setting, there was a moment when I almost saw a replication of the 2D image that I had watched on the screen. This is due to my position almost matching that of the camera's position and angle. The virtual reality simulation thus actually placed the viewers into the world of Dr. Caligari, immersing them in the expressionist environment and letting them explore the studio with the film set as has been described in a 2D form in the archival documents. Caligari's expressionist architecture has been considered as a prototype of expressionism. Architecture is one of the most special arts, and it's important to secure human special existence. Through the use of virtual reality, the special existence into the space of the film has been secured, giving the users the choice to explore the virtual space. The current conclusions and the limitation are that the experience has to be approached with an open mind regarding what is possible to offer to the user as an experience itself. The value of the virtual reality simulation is different from an architect perspective, a scenic designer, a historian, an archivist, an artist, or a film set. This is not to achieve a perfect accurate representation of the film set, but definitely is one of the most important and the closest possible reconstruction achieved by the current archival investigation. The future award suggests that a survey in order to explore the user's experience through the space and understand if they have the similar understanding of expressionist architecture, and also to enable and evaluate the work by alternative interpretations of other scholars in order to preserve cultural heritage through virtual reality. Thank you for your time.